You'll head over to Pan Asia's house. Yep. It's gonna be in a I would say like a suburban area of types, and yeah, I mean, what do you do?
And no cops there or anything?
Nope, there's no cops there or anything,
Or,
and everybody's gonna be with you.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I wanted to gather everybody up. So if this guy is going to be a target for the pestilence, Tori, you can probably get in and do a little looking pretty quietly and easily. Is anybody else good at sneaking?
I'm not particularly good at sneaking, but I could run real quick, and that's kind of sneaky.
What about you, Frankie?
Kind of sneaky?
Okay, yeah, sneaking. Yeah.
So then Tori and Frankie and me will sneak up and I want to just get a lay of the land, see if there's anything out of place, and see if we're early or late. If we're early, we're going to come back to the car and wait. If we're late, then I want all of us to get in there and get whatever we can.
We'll start with Sam then. So you're just gonna get a lay of the land. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to just as, stealthily as possible go up and check out the yard and.
Sure. Go ahead.
Not good.
Okay. I mean, it's relatively early in the morning, so yeah, you're gonna try to be stealthy around. I mean, I'm gonna say like one of the neighbors. You're gonna see like peering in the window, and if you make eye contact, they'll probably turn the blinds, and you can presume whatever they're gonna presume after seeing some random stranger poking around their neighbor's backyard. You can presume whatever you want. They're gonna do at that point. So.
Okay.
But what I will point out before you do anything else is that the only thing in particular interest in the yard is this huge shed that seems to have a padlock on it. Huge shed.
Okay. Yeah, and then unless Frankie and Tori see anything, I'll check out the shed.
Tori and Frankie, are you also stealthing? Well, are you trying to break into the house?
Well, I could just go right through, so.
But how about
Yeah.
Frankie?
Yeah, I would have to stealth around.
Are you going to break into the house to stealth around? Or
I mean, is that the plan to actually break in, or
just have Tori go in?
Just have Tori
Sam.
go in and then us just check the house.
Okay, so I would just stealth around the house rather
Go
than
ahead.
break in.
Go ahead, roll to stealth around the house. You will find that there is a window that is open a crack. That seems to be leading into a bedroom area, probably the master bedroom. And with a 6 out of 12, I'm gonna say that you see markings that suggest that perhaps somebody crawled through it, either into or out of the window relatively recently. Crawled into or out of.
Okay. Has Tori already gone in at this time?
I will say that while this is happening, Tori, you go in to the house. The first thing that you notice as soon as you go inside is you hear a hissing. And you turn to see there is a gray cat that is hissing at you right now.
God.
In your direction.
Yeah, I'm just gonna mosey right on past the cat. Try
You're gonna-
to pay no attention to it.
Okay. The cat's not gonna like attack you or leap at you, but she's definitely going to be like kind of following you around, hissing at you. Like she really does not like you in this house.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess I'd go look for the, like, if the vet's home, like, right? We're looking for the vet. So
Sure, go
yeah,
ahead and
I'll
roll
do
a
that.
search.
12 out
12 out of 12. You do see signs of like dishes in the sink, as in like breakfast. It looks like whoever was in the house has eaten breakfast relatively recently. The dishes have not been done yet. They don't seem to be there from last night. And the TV is on currently in the living room, but nobody's watching the TV at the moment. And it looks like the morning paper is on the breakfast table right now. But again, nobody's at the breakfast table. You can make your way over to the bedroom, and that'll probably be when you see Frankie has noticed that the window is open, a crack in the bedroom, so you can see each other at that point.
Okay. And she'll open the window.
Yeah, you can open the window. It's fine.
It doesn't seem like anybody's home.
No.
I can let you in.
I'll go in. Yeah, Frankie goes in at that point.
Yeah, so she'll go down to unlock the door and let him in.
He was gonna go right through the window.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If it's a one story, then just climb on in.
There's this cat that's like threatening you both now in the bedroom. She does not seem happy at the moment.
Cat doesn't like me. I don't know why it can see me.
Oh, I don't know either. And I mean, I can see you.
Well, yeah, but
I don't know.
I don't. It seems like someone was here recently, though. Like they had breakfast, the TV was on, the morning paper was out, but there doesn't seem to be anybody home.
Interesting. But see, this window, it was like cracked already. So like somebody came in or came out or both or something. So there must be something happening here in the room. Can we like search the room?
Yeah, you can search the room, and there seems to be a door to a bathroom that's open a crack as well.
Maybe there. Do you want to go first, or you just open the door together?
Together, yeah.
Okay. On 3. 1,
1,
2,
2,
3.
You will open it up, and in the bathtub, the shower curtain is closed, but you do see a hand sticking out from the shower curtain.
Tori,
It's not moving.
we just left your world. I thought we were over this.
No, death follows us everywhere. You should know this at this point, Frankie.
That's kind of true.
Does that freak you out?
No, not anymore. Not since you died.
Really? What changed?
Not really certain. I feel like with you, we were in such a moment to get you out, and losing you was, I don't know, it's just such a burden. I think it was the fact that I couldn't just leave your body. I had to take you with us, and it was either run away, scared, or hold on to the last bit of what you were and take you with us. And I chose you.
She'll get a little choked up at that. Like, I'm really proud of you, Frankie, for overcoming your fear.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it. So much happened in your world. I'm still processing everything, to be honest. But if I behaved in a way that offended you, I am really sorry.
What?
I don't know. It's just I felt like I was not myself there.
No one was really themselves.
That is very true. It's like everywhere we go, we change.
It's still weird to see you with clothes on. Just gonna say that.
No, I feel good with this. This is how I'm normally comfortable like this. This is great. Because I could hide, myself a little better like this. But
Yeah, I like it when people have their clothes on, just
yeah, me too.
sorry, Lark.
But, there's a hand.
Yeah, there's a dead body in here. We should probably
Let's look at the hand. On 3 again.
yeah,
We
we'll
pull the
open the shower
curtain.
curtain together.
1, 2, 3.
3.
Okay, so you will pull the shower open. So there seems to be an unconscious, or at least non-conscious, person in the tub, fully dressed. It is a gentleman that is dressed in a vet's uniform. It looks like this person was about to go to work this morning, but didn't quite make it to work this morning. Something slowed them down. But yeah, they do not seem to be conscious. And near the drain and the tub appears to be another knight chess piece. Another knight chess piece. With blood, fresh blood on
I
it.
definitely grab it, but I also want to check the man and see if he's actually alive or dead.
You can definitely roll a medicine or IQ first aid. The person is not breathing.
Do you know CPR, Frankie?
The other thing I will also say, Frankie, is that you see there is a puncture. It looks like a puncture of some sort in their right arm, and also in the tub, underneath them, you would have to lift the body, but I'm going to say that while you're examining the body, you see that there's some sort of syringe with some liquid that is probably no longer in it already. It's already been used up. Whatever was in the syringe has been used up.
It looked like someone used some. Remember when we were trying? Oh, I don't know if you remember. We were trying to use the syringe in your world. Anyways, does he have a pulse? Is he he's not breathing, but is he no pulse, nothing?
No, he has no pulse, nothing. He is fairly cold, fairly.
Okay.
So he's been dead for a second here. Okay.
Yes, he looks like he's dead. I don't think there's a way to bring him back. Even I can only keep someone alive but not like this. I'm not a miracle worker.
I wish Star was here, but if we didn't rest, then we could have stopped this.
Maybe, but we can't blame ourselves. We were exhausted. I mean, to try to do that in the middle of the night could have been dangerous for us, too.
Yeah.
He holds the syringe like we had to take this to Sam and see if he can help investigate this a little more. Actually, we'll come back out to the window like, Sam!
Yeah. Sam.
Okay, meanwhile, Black Powder and Star and Lonic, are you all just waiting in the car?
I guess we're just waiting by the car because Sam didn't give us a job to do.
Okay.
I'm gonna say that Lonic is jogging up and down the sidewalk, just because pins and needles. But other than that, yeah, basically the same thing.
Yeah.
Lonic, you're gonna run up and down the sidewalk, and I'm gonna say that at some point, you'll hear a meow as you're running by. Do you stop, or do you keep running?
Lonic does stop, because there's a thing in games where you have to figure out if you can pet the cat, if you can pet the puppy. So he's gonna try, and I'm gonna leave it up to you whether or not it's even possible.
The moment you stop, the cat comes up to you, and the cat actually starts to rub itself against your legs. So it's coming up to you, trying to pet you, not the other way around at the moment.
So I'm gonna roll to see if something happens.
Okay, go ahead and
really
roll.
quick. I'm just gonna roll it. I'm gonna roll 1d4 and just odds or evens.
Okay.
I don't think Lonic noticed that the cat was approaching him in time. I don't think he turned off his electricity.
Oh no. Okay. So you're rubbing up against it,
Kitty.
and then all of a sudden, you hear a.
So Lonic is going to jump up into the air away from the cat and try to calm himself down so that he's in his static form on the way down.
What was that? Sue says as she hears the.
That sounds like something bad. And where's Lonic?
Let's go find him.
Here I am.
Sue will come out of the car and she's gonna make her way over to Lonic. As soon as she gets to Lonic, she'll say, "Lonic, what?"
Do it.
She
knew it.
sneezes, and then for the first time, till in front of Lonic, you'll see the girl Sue transform into Guy Sue, Veed, as everybody else knows her. Not that Lonic knows this, but yes, you've never. This is your first time experiencing that with this character.
So Lonic doesn't seem all that bothered or concerned with it. He'd heard people talking about this in the past. He wasn't really paying too much attention because he's Lonic, but he had heard about some of this stuff. He's just like, He's gonna try and still speak in Japanese. Nice to meet you.
Same to you. He then looks down and looks at the cat on the ground. What happened to the cat?
I'm sorry about that.
We need a vet. Is there a vet in the house?
There should be a vet in the house. There should be a vet in the house.
Oh my god. Star's gonna reach down and grab the cat and say, "Well, Lonic, did you electrocute the cat by accident?"
I think that may be the exact case. I didn't mean to do it.
It's okay. I'm gonna see if I can heal the cat. I'm pretty sure it's dead.
This
But
got so much sadder than it was initially supposed to be.
right. So let's see if I can save the cat.
Okay. Yeah, I'm the cat. I'm going to say was not breathing when you got to it, but you work your magic to heal the cat, and then the cat suddenly starts to shake, but it's definitely if it's gonna try to walk, but it's gonna start bumping into things. I don't think it's gonna be. I think it needs a moment or 10 moments. Yeah, its fur is sticking straight up, straight up. It's like a big poofy puff of fur. But I also will say that the cat does have a collar with a name tag on it, and the name is Remedy.
Remedy. Oh, okay, little Remedy. Lonic, just for future references, be careful with the electricity. As you can see, that cat nearly died.
It came out of nowhere. I barely had any time to react. I am sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. As they say, no harm, no foul. You didn't know. Do you think we should maybe check on the others? They've been kind of quiet for a while.
Yeah, so Sam, you hear both, I think Tori and Frankie were calling out for you, but you also hear at the same time. So you tell me which one you go to first.
Choices.
Which one do you go to?
I would probably go to the screeching sounds first.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna say it's at that moment in the conversation that Sam, you reach the scene of, well, the scene with the cat that's like
Cat manslaughter.
yes, the cat. You reach the cat manslaughter, cat slaughter.
Cat manslaughter. This seems like an Adam West film.
Oh, Sam. Yeah, so we have an explanation for this.
Okay. Everybody
Sorry.
Everyone but the cat is fine.
Yeah.
Well, we've got a vet here, so let's grab it and go to the vet.
Okay.
Star healed it up. I think it might just be a bit stuck.
We can
Yeah.
brush it down, and
I will not grab the cat.
Frankie and Tori were calling, so
Oh,
anybody at the end of the order, there's a locked shed in the back that we'll have to check out. But let's go see what Frankie and Tori need.
All right.
Yeah, then we'll head towards the side where Frankie and Tori were calling out.
Sam, come here. Look. This syringe. It was used on the veterinary. I can never say this word right. It's veterinarian.
Yeah. So not good.
No.
Oh, the googly eyes. Can we put it on?
Yeah, should we do it here?
I don't
We
know.
used it at midnight.
Oh,
At midnight. We have to wait till midnight, but take the chess piece with you.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it in the other pocket.
Who has? Do you have both knights by any chance?
Sam has one.
Oh,
Frankie has them.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think
Oh, he has
Frankie has both.
okay.
Yeah, so I have
Frankie,
both now.
roll me an IQ or a perception, feel,
Mhm.
perception, feel, or IQ, whatever's higher. Okay,
Mm.
I won't say anything for the time being. Go ahead.
We got the 2, and then we had the syringe. It's like we missed it. We just missed something here.
Mhm.
Just missed something?
Well, do you guys want to?
That isn't here.
I don't think you want to see what's in there, Star.
Oh. Well, maybe I can help. I can try.
You could try. It
It's been
seems
dead
like
for a while.
yeah, he's
Oh.
cold.
Ugh.
No pulse, no breathing. He's dead. But you
But
could
the-
try.
Wait, the cat. Is out of character. Is the cat with us?
The other one?
Did somebody carry the cat with you? Is somebody carrying the cat?
I'll say
All right, the cat's with you then.
okay. The cat Star would be like, well, this might help the vet if I don't know how, but its name is Remedy, and the Star will turn it around so you can see the collar. Its name is Remedy. It might work.
I don't think that's how cats work, Star.
Oh.
I don't
At least not here.
Well, there's
Oh.
a
I
lot.
don't think this cat has magic like some people do or animals do in your world, Star.
The cat starts hissing at Tori again.
This one doesn't like me.
It's okay. She's not that bad, kitty. Remedy, and starts petting it. She's not that bad at all.
Roll animal handling,
Oh,
please.
animal handling. Well, I don't have animal handling, so what would that be?
Dex, maybe?
Dex. Okay, let's go.
Dex?
Let's see what happens.
Okay.
Ooh.
So you're gonna try to comfort it, and then the cat goes, "Meow," and then it doesn't like whatever it is however you're petting, and it just squirms out of your arms, and it's going to start like scampering away unless somebody wants to catch it. Remedy seems to be like over you people right now.
I wonder why.
Is the chess piece also black, painted black?
It is. It is black. Whether it's painted black, I mean, you can determine that yourselves.
Yeah, we.
Can I take a look
Did
at
you
it?
bring some scotch with you? With you Sam?
Good look in the house. Can we look in the house?
I was gonna say, can we get like a knife or something so we can just scrape it off?
Scratch it off, yeah.
Does
You could.
does a vet have alcohol in the house?
Probably.
You can do a search.
Yeah, I'll do a search for alcohol in the house or some sort of solvent.
Sam, don't you have anything in your flask?
Oh yeah, I've got plenty of scotch.
You'll find you will definitely find in their closet does seem to be a stash of alcohol in the closet of the bedroom. Yes.
Let's use this then. This will dissolve.
You also will find a filing cabinet in the closet as well that seems to have a combination lock to it.
Can we search for a combination in the house for this
Yeah, I
lock?
definitely want to search around as much as possible, and I want to see if I can use my forensic, like, at the crime scene.
You can go ahead.
So an 11 out of 17.
Nice.
Okay. You believe that the murder happened probably an hour ago. An hour ago, I would say. Whoever did this did it pretty swiftly. I don't think the person saw it coming. It looks like the person took a bludgeon to the head. You don't believe that's what killed them. You believe what killed them was being OD'd by whatever it is they were hit with the syringe. The syringe seems to be... I don't think you'd be able to determine just by looking at what it is, but you're pretty sure whatever it is must have been toxic enough that it caused their heart to stop or something. The other thing that you notice in the bedroom appears to be a piece of paper with the word Ezekiel on it. And it's a torn piece of paper. It looks like the other half is missing. The other half of this paper is missing. Ezekiel. The only thing that Star notices of interest is that cabinet of sorts. And I mean, just in general, the shed out back also has a padlock on it, so that's suspicious too. I mean, people can store whatever they want in sheds, but if you're always suspecting things, that's considered suspicious.
Okay. So Star will be, well, the safe is here, and the shed out back Sam mentioned earlier. Maybe we can open them?
I had a thought. I wonder if I jumped as high as I could and dropped the safe, if that would break it open.
I mean, I also know an old trick for how to open a safe.
Oh.
Well, you know.
Leverage. The safes have hinges. If the hinges are the weak point, don't bother trying to get through the lock.
Okay.
So if you find something heavy or strong enough, and I look at Frankie, with proper leverage, you can just pop the hinges right off. Done it a million times.
So is it one with a lock, or is it a combination lock? Do we know what kind of safe it is?
It's a combination.
I mean, I'd like to search his documents to see if there is a combination code somewhere written around.
Sure. No.
Why don't I just go into the shed?
That's a good idea.
This is why you're you, and you're winning,
Been very useful in Sam's world.
right?
Yes.
All right, Tori, you're gonna go into the shed. Now it's gonna be black. It's gonna be dark in there. So you can go inside. I don't know if you can necessarily see what's in there at the moment.
Well, this is unfortunate that I don't know my fire spells.
If you want to roll a search,
Sure. Yeah, I can do that. 11 out of 12.
you're gonna find. Okay, so you will find a switch in the shed. You'll flick it on, and there will be a light that will turn on, and you basically see shelves and shelves and shelves of various chemicals that you don't believe that they're lawn care chemicals.
Okay.
And they probably have labels on them. I'm not a veterinarian or in medicine, but they seem to be I'm just gonna say they seem to be medical in nature. Medical in nature chemicals.
Do I notice anything out of place or missing? Because I'm thinking like
No.
related to the syringe. Yeah.
No, I don't see out of place or missing. Roll an IQ.
Okay. 5 out of 12.
Oh. Okay. You don't know enough to know what these medications are for, but you will recognize that they are medical in nature, but your gut is telling you that these are not typical chemicals that a veterinarian would necessarily have for usual veterinarian practices.
Okay.
There's something more to these chemicals, but you're not sure what that could be.
Okay. I will head back to the group and relay what I found and kind of look to Star, since Star's kind of the medic of the group in a way.
Right. Well, while you're in the shed, they're dealing with the filing cabinet. So how are you gonna try to break open the filing cabinet somehow?
Stars, go for it.
I was just gonna say, break it, Frankie.
Okay.
When in
Roll
doubt.
the strength.
When in doubt.
Nice.
Yeah, you'll be able to open it, and inside are a lot of documents on horses that were being treated by this veterinarian with performance-enhancing drugs. And Sam's gonna recognize a lot of these horses from the taxidermy. They're all race. Most of them are all race horses that have been given doses and doses of these performance enhancement drugs.
So it's like the coffee.
Pretty much.
Oh, what?
I told you.
The only other thing from that you're gonna find in the safe, which is a separate drawer, it just has like personal things that have nothing to do with drugs or veterinary stuff. But there is a folder that has Belinda's name on it.
I was gonna ask. I want to search anything connected to Belinda.
And it just has like various like letters that they've written to each other back and forth. They look relatively old, so these are from like many years ago, but it seems to insinuate that these two had like a fling or two or more here and there probably throughout the course of a few years. They had some flings here and there. None of them seem recent, but yeah, I'm gonna say there's the only other things of interest there.
Well, it definitely ties back into a lot of the same soup.
Sam, when Tori was telling us about the dream, Belinda had a horse. Do you happen to know what her horse's name was called?
Let me see if I wrote anything down.
I think Eddie told you.
I thought Eddie said something.
I think Eddie's told you. You did ask Eddie to find out stuff about Belinda, so maybe that'll be one of the
Time to get him on the horn.
You can call him if you want.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, everyone roll a perception hearing. This is going to be before Tori gets back to you.
Okay.
Hearing them actually okay now.
Well,
Star is too. Yeah.
You will, those of you who succeed will hear the sound of police sirens in the distance because, I don't know, maybe a next door neighbor called the cops because they saw some strange guy roaming around their backyard and probably called the cops, so...
we need to get out of here
Probably get going.
now.
Yeah. Where's Tori?
She went to the shed. We can probably catch her on the way back.
Okay.
Tori, did you succeed on your perception?
Mm-hmm.
Lonic did as well.
All right, if Tori heard it, then yeah, you can hear the cops.
I didn't.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Okay. So you all are gonna leave. And Tori's gonna go back into the house.
Hey guys.
Can Star look for Tori or say
You're like,
her
I
name?
thought like we would be passing the shed on the way. That's what I thought.
You can.
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay.
Then you can see Tori on the way. She didn't hear the sirens at all.
Be like, come on.
Oh, okay. She'll follow them.
Just a thought.
Good
Maybe
stuff.
everyone should take a sip of my coffee so that you don't run so slow.
No.
Now, I did not hear anyone say anything about making sure you're wearing gloves or doing anything to prevent you all leaving fingerprints in this area. So
Does
I'm going to
Lonic
assume
have
that you're.
fingerprints?
I don't know if he does.
I don't think he does. I've been treating him like he's pixelated, so...
So for
He's
now,
not
I'm just going to
surface.
assume your fingerprints are all over the body in this crime scene at the moment.
I don't really have
Touch
fingerprints though,
anything.
so I'm like, they're good.
Oh,
Tori
you
and
touched
Lonic probably
me.
saved everyone
Sam,
else.
Star, and Frankie, because I never touched anything.
The thing with Frankie is his hands are so big, like
Oh,
it's
no.
like they're gonna be like, who's this giant that touched
To be fair, he
everything?
may have
Right.
5 different sets of fingerprints because each fingerprint
Right.
is someone else.
Prints are irrelevant. They're just gonna be like, who's the giant?
Right? Oh my god.
No.
But yeah, his
The
yeah,
filing cabinet is busted open.
Right.
The cat is like looks like it's been attacked.
The other cat's on edge.
poor
Just
cat.
tell a better story.
Yeah. Holy
Yeah, this
shit.
killer's modum operandum is changed or something.
Right.
It's shifted a little bit.
Right?
Now it's attacking cats. And
So, dissolving the paint off of the chest piece, what is revealed underneath?
the chess piece is made of jade.
Of course.
Yes! Yes!
Ah, dang.
Oh.
Four horsemen.
Just need 4.
Of course, it's
Yes.
Jade.
Yes. Well,
And the slip that we had that had the 14:12, we didn't get that, did we? It was still in the evidence.
It was in Haskell's notebook.
Tori saw in the notebook they wrote that there was a slip with 1421, but it looks like a piece of it's been ripped off. It's been ripped off of something. So you don't have physically none of you have physically seen this other 1421 slip.
I want to offer anybody who wants to go back to the office to take the car,
None of us can drive.
Anybody
I can
want-
try to drive.
me to wait for the cops to get there to see if Haskell shows up.
Nita should start.
Anybody
I
that
think it would be an
touched
especially bad idea
anything?
for Lonic to stay.
I haven't.
We'll all just go back then if nobody's.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I'm not a good liar, so.
And neither is Star.
I don't like law enforcement.
I gotta remember that. Gotta remember that. All right, yeah, we'll all just head back to the office and call up Eddie, see what he's found.
You go back to the office. You call up Eddie, and he'll say, "Oh, ho, ho. Sam, you owe me big. I got a lot from the horse's mouth, so to speak."
Well, that's good. That's good.
See, I paid Miss Greed a visit just now, and she seems to be a little bit stressed out right now about everything that's been going on, especially with what happened to the farmer the other day. So I got her to spill a few things. First of all, she pretty much confirmed what I've been suspecting this entire time, that Joey the Rattlesnake Rotello's been fixing the races for profit. Now, she doesn't necessarily want this to get out that she's been involved in it, because she's definitely benefited from some of the financial success that he's had. But I told her that, if you want these killings to stop, because she might be next, then she should start speaking up, especially if she's involved in all of this that's been going on. One thing that's really interesting that I got out of her is that the whole reason why Joey the Rattlesnake Rotello has been able to be so successful in this operation is because the commissioner has been given a cut to look the other way.
Gotcha.
So as long as he doesn't say anything, and even sometimes tries to keep some of the suspicion away from Joey and his boys, then he gets a little something in return.
Yeah, definitely makes a lot of sense. That's the way the world works anymore.
So, what do you think? That's juicy enough information for you? Did I do good?
Yeah, I think it's really good. I think maybe there's another body that seems to have turned up.
Another body? Wait, did the apocalypse killer strike again, Bennett?
I don't know about that, but I went to go pay a visit to that vet named Athenaeum, and yeah, it was a pretty gritty scene.
Athenaeum. Oh, wasn't he the one that Miss Creed was involved in? I think before. I think she mentioned him at some point. How they met, like in Paris, back when they were younger.
Yeah, that's the clown.
Wow. So he's gone.
Yeah, it seems that way.
That means there's only one left, right?
Well, that's what it looks like.
So, how are we going to figure out who the fourth victim's going to be?
Well, I think we've got a couple of questions yet to answer before we can figure that out. But I'm thinking that there's definitely going to be some interesting meetings going on tonight.
Well, Bennett, since I was able to do a favor for you, you got a favor that you're gonna have to do for me.
Oh, absolutely, kid. What do you have in mind?
Tell you what, we'll talk about it later. Maybe after this case is wrapped up.
Okay, sounds good. Here, I thought maybe you had something pressing that you were really needing something helped with right away.
It's not super important, but it's definitely something I'm gonna need help with.
All right, you've definitely earned it. Any other info you get, you just call up the office and leave it here with Susie.
All right. You know what, Bennett? You and I, we make a pretty good team.
Well, I don't know if I'd go that far, but we work well together.
Fair enough. Oh yeah, and let me know if you got any more of that coffee from yesterday. I'm starting to have a craving.
It's a drug.
Yeah, you know, that's I think just that little bit from the farm just had a little bit of a little extra something to it. I'd avoid it if I were you.
Oh, I don't know. That was really good stuff. At least I remember it being really good stuff.
All right. Well, anything else comes up, you keep me in the loop, and we'll catch up to you as soon as we can.
All right. Talk to you later, Bennett. And he hangs up. Veed says, "So what does this all mean?"
Well, one thing seems to be pretty much a given. That's that we've seen, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm probably wrong. We've seen pestilence, we've seen famine, we've seen death. Only one should be left.
War.
Which one is that? War?
I think so.
So who are we looking for? Like a war chief?
Somebody with a military or...
It may be less literal. What, like, war's essentially just a really high stakes competition, right?
Could be.
And chess is actually a war game, so.
True.
Maybe
I
the
wonder-
commissioner?
True.
The commissioner.
Could be. Does he have a history in the military or is he a chess player? We don't know much.
Eddie might know.
Eddie seems to know everything.
Yeah.
Good boots on the ground.
I'm
What was the name of the guy who was shouting about Chris?
Oh, that was Father Ezekiel.
I knew I'd heard that name before. Wasn't that what was written on the paper and the apocalypse thing? It seems like they're all connected.
Yep. And Haskell's note had 1421 on it.
also, wouldn't put too much stock into the priest, essentially, because Ezekiel's a pretty common name within the church.
Yeah.
No, to me, everything seems to be leading back to that Belinda woman.
Yep.
Yeah.
If the vet was an ex-lover, if the taxidermist was her friend, the farmer, well, we don't entirely know, but we know she was into the horses as well.
Could it be jealousy?
Possibly. I'm actually starting to wonder if she might have something to do with it herself.
But
But the hungry horse saw a man.
I'm not saying she killed him herself with her own hands.
Okay.
But clearly, no judgment, but clearly she gets around
Yeah.
to convince
she
the new lover
does.
to do something.
okay,
Because she was pissed that he was rigging races, right? That Joey was rigging the race.
Yes.
If the 3 people who were killed had something to do with those riggings.
Well, and
Joey
the vet
could be
was
maybe
a
getting back
former. The vet was a former lover.
Former, though.
Too.
If it ended badly.
Well, and she wasn't too happy with Joey in the dream.
That's not going to
But
stop
they-
the rigging.
They seemed pretty
fine.
cozy with each other last time I saw them.
That's not going to stop rigging races. You just find somebody else to provide the performance-enhancing drugs.
I mean, I'm no investigator, obviously. This is just what I'm thinking. So far, the evidence is very heavily pointed towards the rattlesnake, right?
Seems like it.
If we know the commissioner is in Joey's pocket, 'cause the commissioner is also one of her ex-lovers,
Ex-husband.
ex-husband,
Ex-husband.
but they're also working with Joey. What if she's doing it and framing Joey for it?
Maybe.
Because it does
Maybe.
heavily point towards Joey.
But
Also-
based on the pattern, the commissioner's in danger.
Yeah.
I agree
Yes.
he's probably a very good bet on a victim.
Also, something to mention because we were kind of rushing out. There were some drugs in the shed outside of the vet's house. Not like euthanasia kind of stuff for animal, like I don't know. It's medical mumbo jumbo, but there's something really weird about it being at a vet's house.
Euthanasia? That's one of my primary demographics.
Oh, okay, I get it.
You know, it took me a second.
It is kind of
of
funny.
character.
But you did. Oh, too bad you didn't bring the drugs with you.
Right.
I would have had. We would have had to break another lock.
Yeah,
I mean,
dude.
the good news is, if the police are on their way here now, if they find this stuff, they may take notes, and then Tori can just go in and look at their notes again.
I don't
At
think
the
they
police station.
more than we did.
I don't know what else they would have.
What
At
time?
least in terms of learning about the drugs themselves, I meant.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to juice up the horses. What time are you meeting? Or are you supposed to meet with Rattlesnake?
I believe my notes said midnight, because it was late at night. For me, at the speakeasy. So,
At the speakeasy.
Around
yeah,
the
he was
same-
setting us up a meeting, basically, to talk about the business deal.
Well, it's around the same time that we can use the googly eyes.
Yes.
True.
The challenge is that's a long ways away. A long time till midnight now. And
And
we
we can't afford to wait.
didn't exactly
Yeah.
keep that place pristine. So it's very possible that the buzz is going to come my way, and might not hurt to plan to either pin that Joey to the wall at that meeting, get information out of him, and be ready to maybe prevent him from getting the last night.
It seems like we've got 3 people that we're all concerned about. But if we're this close to the final boss fight, then we might not want to split the party too much.
Nope, I don't think we split at all.
No.
That's a good idea.
Well,
I think as quick as we can get the hooch and get black powder into that meeting and set up, I think there's going to be a lot of stars aligning at that point.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to go fast, I'm your guy. Even in this form.
and I know you had a contact who's going to try and get a case of the booze.
Yeah, and that won't be too difficult.
Problem is, we're going to have to change any labels. It's supposed to be foreign.
Oh, there won't be any labels. That stuff gets too hot.
All
Get hot?
I can write in Japanese.
Yeah, we can always make some labels if we want.
And I don't know, back where I'm from, yet they were literally built into the bottles, the labels, so. That's why I
Yeah,
was asking.
So Veed says, so just to recap, who do we think are the possible victims and who do we think are the possible suspects?
I think Joey's got the next target on him. And I think Belinda may be pulling the strings. But I think somebody else is putting the muscle in, so. When we meet.
I don't trust that. I don't trust the man screaming about Chris. It seems too suspicious.
I think that's a mistake of someone else, so I'm not too worried about him.
So, the other thing I was wanting to ask, the commissioner, out of character, I couldn't remember, was he like a big man? Like a big guy?
He's a big guy. He's a muscular guy, I would say.
So I
He's a
probably would have
muscular
noticed
guy.
that.
Joey's a
I was thinking the exact
Joey's a
same
muscular
thing.
guy.
There's a lot of muscular guys.
There's a lot of muscular guys.
Belinda has a
And
type.
probably
Yes.
yeah, Belinda has a type.
Okay.
Yeah, Eddie is probably the smallest out of all of them.
Who?
Eddie.
Eddie. I was going to say, right now our two suspects for the next victim are either Joey or the commissioner, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but they're equally as potentially the one.
The bad guy, too.
It could be flip-flopped,
But-
yeah.
I know you said you don't want to split up. Is there any way we could keep eyes on both of them?
Mm.
I
So
think
that-
they're gonna be at the same place at the same time. Not that, well,
How do we do that?
Well,
we know Joey's got to meet with BP.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got a time and a place. And times and places are great spots to start.
But what about the other detective? Isn't he an old friend of yours? Do you think he'd help us?
No.
No.
No?
Well, that's how we found out about. Yeah, I didn't share anything with you about the obsidian. So I don't know if he would be open with information with you.
Like, seriously though, what does it gain by fighting against you if you're both working towards the same goal? Or do you think he's a bad guy too?
the story?
Hmm?
What's the story here, Sam?
Like,
Let's just say we don't see eye to eye and we took different career paths.
all right. But you both want to stop these murders, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do we?
Do you?
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Do you think you suspect Haskell is involved in these murders?
Well, I suspect anybody could be in it, but
Mm.
when the farmer was getting aced, when the taxidermist got aced, sometimes you gotta just keep your mind open.
Yeah, but then his notes in the notebook don't make sense.
Notes in the notebook and the conversation he was having with Tori, because either, or not with Tori, that you overheard,
With the
with the commissioner.
he looked like the commissioner.
Didn't he say that he was going to be solving the case
Yes, he wanted Haskell specifically
on
involved
the
with the case.
Mm.
Head is a cup. I have no choice but to keep my mind open.
Like Haskell could be the next
Yeah.
victim.
Yeah. He could be, or it still could be the commissioner. Either the
For all we know,
commissioner.
it could be Sam as a victim.
Just
not
say that
the
out
bad
loud.
guy.
As a victim?
As a
I
victim.
don't know. The way he answered the question is like, do we?
Yes.
I'm like,
To be-
do
to be
you wanna
fair,
murder somebody?
Sam already is red in one sense. So, but no, like, war could be. Right now, it seems like things are going. They're attacking people who seem to represent the opposite, right?
Yeah.
In a sense, because like a taxidermist is to remember something that was lost. A farmer feeds, and a vet heals, theoretically.
Mm-hmm.
But like technically a detective or PI, someone who's trying to solve the case, could be trying to quote unquote end the war kind of thing.
True.
So there's a lot of options here.
Or someone who's trying to keep the peace.
Seems to
Yeah.
me like a lot of people need to be in one place at the same time.
But how do we
But I
get
don't
them
really
there?
I initially felt like the commissioner is the next victim because he is an ex of Belinda, and to
Yeah.
your point, Sam, he is a peacekeeper.
True.
We should.
Or
Try to
anybody
protect
related, like Haskell, who's also part of keeping the peace. But he doesn't have a connection to Belinda,
Mm-mm.
aside from this case.
As far as we know.
Good point.
Good point. But we do know about the commissioner, so I feel strongly about that lead.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
At this point, your phone's going to ring, Sam.
All right, I'll pick it up.
Bennett, it's Eddie Sullivan.
Eddie, what's rolling?
Got 3 pieces of information for you, just because I am on a hunch. So, if we're talking about, the apocalypse killer, I was just kind of doing a little bit of digging, just to see if I could find anyone who, was involved in the military in their past. I found 3 people that's involved in all of this that were ex-veterans, kind of, sort of. Seems that Joey, or actually at the time Sergeant Ratello, Joseph Ratello, was involved in the Crazy Snake Rebellion back in 1909. The other thing that's really interesting is both Detective Haskell and the Commissioner served in the Mexican Border War as well, back in the early parts of the Mexican Border War. Not sure if that helps at all. Could just be a red herring, but thought that might be interesting information to know.
Oh, that's great timing. I definitely appreciate it.
question, Sam. Were women ever involved in your wars? Is that something that's progressed?
Yeah. You
since
know,
my
it's
time?
it's a man's job. You go out and you protect.
But I'm asking because if maybe Belinda might be connected to that too, if they were all in the army. So that's what I was wondering if women ever helped, kind of thing.
You know, maybe hospitals, things like that. But
They were nurses.
yeah,
Nurses.
That's where they help.
Okay.
not really fighting or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you want to wait until the meeting tonight, or do you want to go check on the commissioner during the day? Most likely, the commissioner is going to be busy because they're obviously opening a can of worms at the vet's house,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe a little bit more challenging and difficult to see.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for those who go to meet the commissioner, it's probably best to pick people who weren't. That's too smart for Lonic. Damn.
So I'm going to say
Somebody
that
vibe
I'm
off of what I was
voting-
saying.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that I think Black Powder is on the right track. That it's the opposing element to the horseman.
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling it's going to be the commissioner because he is more of a peacekeeper than anyone else, and
agree.
he has I think because of the X connection to Belinda, that's the key.
I
Where
agree.
right now Belinda
Mhm.
is currently with Joey, but it's an X. I think this is a cleanup job, or maybe you're right. Belinda's upset with Joey and wants to I don't know. Maybe it's still Belinda who's pulling the strings
Mm-hmm.
to get rid of all of the fixing of the horses and the hush money and the feeding the horses and
I think sometimes the storm has the eye, and it just goes around that eye. I'm game for going and checking out the commissioner.
It's best if I don't, since I do have a meeting with Joey. I think it's best if I stay away from the cops, so any of his folk don't think I'm trying to rat him out or something.
Yeah, and if we're meeting at the speakeasy, I have a performance tonight, so I'll be with Black Powder.
There's a knock on your door, on your office door, Sam.
I'll tell Black Powder and Star to go into one of the conference rooms before I answer. Just so you
Okay.
feel safe,
Okay.
out of sight.
Lonic will go with them.
I'll hide in a bookshelf or something.
You just see
Where
her
am I
floating.
gonna
The bookshelf actually has liquor behind it.
Should I not hide there?
No, you're
We've
good.
reached a point where Frankie is the least conspicuous person amongst us. Just thought I'd point that out.
I hide behind a potted plant. I don't know.
Can you
People probably
imagine?
look so big behind the little plant.
Right? He said, "No one can see me. I'm
No
not
one can
here."
see me.
Like a little kid that thinks they're just
All right, I'll open the door.
You open the door. Susan Simmons is on the other side, and she looks very nervous. And she says, "Mr. Bennett, Detective Haskell is here with a couple police officers. They said they need to see you immediately."
All right, go ahead and don't send them in. I'll go out there, and I'll go out into the entryway.
Okay, you'll go on in the entryway, and you basically see Detective Haskell. He's got his hands on his hips, and he's just giving you a shake with his head. The other two cops go up to you, and they're gonna say, "Bennett, I'm afraid we have a warrant for your arrest." And one of them pulls out the handcuffs, and they're gonna start cuffing you. Are you gonna resist?
I was just trying to call you. No, I won't resist.
Okay. Yeah. You have the right to remain silent. Anything. Blah blah blah. She's gonna read the rights to you. And if you're not gonna resist, they're gonna continue like cuffing you and will escort you outside. Does anybody in the room? Yes.
Star is gonna be like, they're arresting Sam. We can't let them take him. Star is gonna be like, oh, I cannot believe I'm doing this. So Star, I'm gonna have to roll for this because I guess this would be considered combat.
Uh-oh.
Oh God.
Oh no.
Well, just roll. Let me see what you roll.
Okay, so I hope I do well with this. Star is going to send out Rhyolite. Star's gonna split up and say, I'll see if I can like touch them stealthily and like make them like really afraid, like just really afraid, like petrified. So hold on, let's see if this works. Oh my God, I hope this works. Okay, so I'm gonna use my so would I have to roll stealth first and then? Okay, and that was dexterity, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Fudge.
Oh.
No. Oh no. They're gonna totally see Rhyolite coming. And so.
Yeah. And you're gonna try to. Yeah. So I guess because they'll see them coming, they will react and jump out of the way before Rhyolite can actually do anything. And the cops are not gonna, because Rhyolite's like a blue-looking, green-looking person, and I'm gonna say that the cops who's not cuffing Sam, pulls out a gun, aims it right at Rhyolite, and then Haskell also pulls out a gun as well and aims it towards Rhyolite, and the cop says, "Freeze!" And we'll end this session there. We'll end the session right there.
Oh my gosh. We're gonna have to do a freaking jailbreak now.
Jailbreak.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Oof.
And we have a limited amount of time to do it because the next murder is probably like now.
Yes,
Oh,
this
yeah.
escalated very quickly.
Probably.